Another case of desertion has been recorded in the Russian army. The soldiers in question are from the 1st Motorized Rifle Battalion of the unit that controls the territory in the area of Sukhinovka, a village in the Kursk region, just a few kilometers from the border with Ukraine. The information was disseminated by one of the pro-war Z Resources Northern Channel, known for its closeness to the Russian armed forces. On July the 16th, he reported that 3 soldiers had left their place of service without permission. They weren't sent to positions. They didn't have to storm the landing. Just sit normally and do your duties. They got away anyway. The channel's message says, the next day there was an update. It turned out that their senior in rank, the commander of the 2nd Motorized Rifle Company with the call sign October, had disappeared along with the fighters. And not only did he not stop his subordinates, he left with them. We'll repeat. He didn't run to catch them. Not after them, with them. That's the kind of commanders they are. Severny Kanal wrote. He specified that Sukhinovka, despite its proximity to the Ukrainian border, is not a combat zone. It is relatively calm there, and despite this, soldiers deserted. Such incidents happen all the time on the combat contact line. Although there are no full-scale battles in Sukhinovka, the danger is quite real. Ukrainian FPV drones have already reached the border settlements of the Kursk region more than once. This incident clearly demonstrates the decline in morale in the ranks of the Russian army, even in those areas that the military itself calls quiet. The Russian Ministry of Defense has not yet commented on the information about the desertion. Earlier, media reported how Russian media revealed what the Russian armed forces do with deserters. Russia has a large-scale practice of forcibly returning deserters. Fugitives are thrown into meat assaults from which there is virtually no chance of returning alive. This was reported by the Russian opposition publication Verstka, citing internal data from the military prosecutor's office. The leaked documents say that more than 1,000 such soldiers have been detained across the country in the last month alone, but only a few have been arrested. The rest have been handed back to their units or sent to the front lines.
NATO's Supreme Allied Commander Europe, General Alexis Grinkwich, said Thursday that preparations are underway for weapons transfers to Ukraine and that NATO is working very closely with Germany to transfer Patriot systems. According to Associated Press, Grinkwich said at a military event in Wiesbaden, Germany, that he had been ordered to move the weapons out as quickly as possible. He said the number of weapons being transferred is classified. We're already in preparation phase for the first tranche of capability to start moving with respect to Patriots, he said. My guidance is to get the Ukrainians what they need to defend themselves. US President Donald Trump agreed to send the weaponry, but it will be paid for by European countries. An expert working group under Grinkwich is to discuss concrete planning very quickly but also with corresponding caution, a German Defense Ministry spokesperson said Wednesday. NATO chief Mark Rutte said in Washington on Monday that the alliance is coordinating the military support with funding from allies in Europe and Canada. He said there were commitments from Germany, Finland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands and Canada, with more expected to follow.
Systems from Germany are already on their way to Ukraine.
I'm not going to reveal to the Russians or anyone else the exact numbers of weapons that we're transferring or when those will happen. But what I will say is that preparations are underway. We're working very closely with the Germans on the Patriot transfer, and the guidance that I've been given has been to move out as quickly as possible. So we're doing that, and then we're also looking at other capabilities and what those needs are, and working on proposals for our political leadership. And air defense is important on the modern battlefield, and we've seen the scale of recent Russian attacks against Ukraine. So it is a key focus area, and obviously a key focus area for the Secretary General and the President. So to meet that objective, I do intend to bring everyone together to look at what's in the art of the possible. This will be tied to being able to sequence what flows into Ukraine now, things that Secretary Rubio has talked about. Capabilities that are in Europe can be moved more quickly than something coming off the production line, but the production line can then be used to backfill the capabilities that others donate. So I don't have a good sense of what the numbers will be, but I know that my guidance is to get the Ukrainians what they need to defend themselves. So there'll be a lot more to follow. We're going to move as quickly as we can on this. A ton of coordination in work, but as I mentioned, we're already in the preparation phase for the first tranche of capability to start moving with respect to Patriots.
You said you'd like to have industry deliver capabilities as quickly as...
And one of the lessons that I've taken away is we've got to figure out what mechanisms we can build in all of our militaries that allow that same pace of innovation that the Ukrainians have done so successfully. We're down at the brigade level, they're able to have a relationship with an industry partner that drives innovation, not in a matter of years, but in a matter of days. So I think that's something that surprised me. I didn't know that would happen. In retrospect, it's probably a little bit more obvious as you overlay the mega trends of where technology and warfare has gone. But I think it's something that we all need to study and reflect on and incorporate into our formations. All right, thanks everybody, and let me just close with one comment.
Ukraine's economy minister and the key negotiator in the mineral deal with the U.S., Yulia Sviridenko, was appointed as the nation's new prime minister Thursday, becoming the country's first new head of government since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022. According to Associated Press, Sviridenko is one of a group of officials taking on new roles in Ukraine's government, as President Volodymyr Zelensky reshuffles the cabinet in a bid to energize a war-weary nation and boost domestic weapons production in the face of Russia's grinding invasion. At home, however, the cabinet recalibration has not been seen as a major shift, as the Ukrainian leader continues to rely on officials who have proven their effectiveness and loyalty during the war, now in its fourth year. Zelensky submitted nominations on Thursday to shuffle top government positions, including the replacement of Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal, the longest-serving head of government in Ukraine's history. Shmyhal now moves to become defense minister, according to the parliamentary website. Other changes are expected in the cabinet, but Sviridenko's appointment as prime minister is taking center stage. She played a key role in negotiating a U.S. Ukraine mineral agreement, ensuring the terms were acceptable to Kiev. Sviridenko has frequently represented Ukraine in high-level talks with Western partners, focusing on defense cooperation, economic recovery and reconstruction.
Оновлений уряд України має провести аудит всіх домовленостей, угод, меморандумів з партнерами у сфері оборони, оборонного виробництва, усіх програм стійкості, щоб виконати домовленості на 100% в інтересах України. Будуть і нові угоди зі Сполученими Штатами Америки, що посилять позиції України і заради яких нам потрібні зміни у дипломатичній роботі з Америкою. Ми маємо гарантувати нашим воїнам впевненість у забезпеченні сил оборони. Для цього збільшуємо, зокрема, внутрішній економічний потенціал України. Та розпочали перемовини щодо... Я вдячний Юлії Свириденко. Дякую вам, Юлія. За ефективну роботу програм підтримки українського виробництва. Цей досвід роботи Юлії заради нашої української стійкості та нашого економічного зростання має бути продовжений та масштабований як ключове завдання українського уряду. Розраховую на те, що програма урядових кроків буде представлена якнайшвидше та буде виконуватись в щоденному режимі. Кожен день має приносити Україні результат. Сили оборони та безпеки України будуть надалі отримувати увесь необхідний ресурс для захисту нашої держави, для захисту наших людей. Ми посилимо переговорний напрямок для справедливого завершення війни та гарантування реальної безпеки для України. Дякую.
Юлія Анатольовна, нагадую, до 20 хвилин.
Війна вимагає від нас змін політик та підходів, оновлення процесів і нових рішень. Перший пріоритет, над яким ми будемо працювати в перші 6 місяців, це якісне забезпечення армії, збільшення власного виробництва зброї та підвищення технологічності українського війська. Нам потрібно спрямувати максимальні зусилля на забезпечення самодостатності української економіки. Я бачу і надалі свою місію – підтримку українського виробника. Я й надалі готова продовжувати служити Україні. Слава Україні!
Героям слава! За 262 рішення прийнято. Покажіть по фракції. Володимиру Олександровичу Зеленському